See, we told you to panic.
Hello.
This is
For
why
the
panic
first
is a thing.
time, it's Wednesday. Welcome back to Recall Knowledge presents Outlaws of Alkenstar, a show where Pathfinder enthusiasts play through your favorite adventure paths. I'm your GM, Steve, and I'm joined by Ricardo, Richard, Ninna, and Tommy. Go ahead, everyone, and say, howdy, cowboys!
I already did it once. You
Howdy,
didn't get to
Cowboys.
you
Hi,
get to
Tommy.
everyone else apparently.
If you're tuning in for the first time, this never happens. That's the lie. Welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. We're happy to have you with us as usual. And big shout out, happy Pride Month, everyone. Pride Month in June. We're celebrating it here on Recall Knowledge. And Ninna, I think you had something really important you needed to say.
Yes, sorry, I was bringing the link, but there is a Pride Parade happening this June. June 12th, of course it's on June. On Sunday.
It's June.
Sunday.
God damn
Yeah.
it.
Okay, it is
In?
free. Yeah.
In Los
I'm
Angeles.
looking at in LA. I'm looking at the specifics of it. Okay. All right. So the procession starts at 10:30 in the morning. That's when everyone starts to march. So it's gonna begin at Hollywood Boulevard, and then I believe it ends somewhere around La Cienega. We'll just be going around the entire block. So we're gonna be loud. We're gonna be proud over here on Sunday at the Hollywood Boulevard. So come on, guys, let's wave the flag.
I will give
there.
I'll give $100 to anyone that shows up dressed as Wybert and gets a photo with Anita or Ninna as Anita. I guess you won't be cosplaying Anita, but still, it'll work.
If
out.
I mean, like I said,
Okay.
I'm hella short.
Get on your hands and knees and crawl over through the crowds and get eye level with Ninna.
Here, I'll give any non-Filipinos a tip. Just go around the crowd going,
You
You'll
know,
find
that would
that
get
work?
my attention.
Very nice, very nice. As for our game tonight, as usual, we are very happily playing this on Foundry Virtual Tabletop using the new premium Punks in a Powderkeg module. Make sure to grab your copy if you haven't already, because it is amazing, the things that they're doing here in Foundry. Yep. And before we get started playing tonight, we need to give a big shout out right off the top to our lead sponsor of the night, and that is the Rollsmith.
Roll.
rolling.
Oh.
The Rollsmith is making amazing premium virtual dice for Foundry Virtual Tabletop that you can buy as an add-on for the free Dice So Nice module, and I checked, it is the most installed module in Foundry out there for very good reason.
Nice.
This lets you scratch that itch that you have for customized dice for your characters while playing in Foundry. So you get the best of both worlds in awesome dice and awesome tool sets.
Yes. And you have enough dice to put other dice in dice jail. They don't do well.
You never run out of dice jail.
On theme for
Not
this
like I would
particular
know.
campaign.
The whole so every time you roll a natural one, you can just rotate the dice, right?
I know. So
Well,
much.
this is the cool thing, is that we guarantee here at Recall Knowledge that you will not be rolling any natural ones, because this week the Rollsmith released the brand new Armored Collection, which has 12, yes, count them, 12 brand new metal dice sets, red, black, white, and blue dice in bronze, silvered, and gold finishing. This joins the other 45 or so dice sets they currently have available. And to prove to you that these dice are so amazing and so perfect and will never let you down, we are going to put it to the test. Which dice set will roll best for you, scientifically proven with science? Let me switch over to our patented Rollsmith Science Dice Testing Laboratory, featuring the true random trademarked fuzzy dice technology and the RNG generator powered by the white noise from the microwave in my grandmother's house.
How
You
the
can-
microwave.
You cannot get more random than that. So, each of you, make sure you go into the settings and select what you feel is your favorite Rollsmith dice set and get it locked and loaded. And what we're going to do is go down the line and have each of you roll a single d20 on our Rollsmith lab. It's the Rollsmith True Random Guaranteed High Roll Seal of Approval. Whoever wins tonight.
That's the whole title for the entire thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole
that's it,
title
that's
for the
the
whole
one.
thing. You know,
I'm not sure
we didn't have
that's how
time
it
to
works.
workshop this, so you know, the first title is always the best, right?
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve. Token vision.
Oh, is there? You have no vision? Okay.
Yeah, we leave
You
the
don't
lights
need
off and roll
vision.
stuff out. Yeah.
Let's check. How does lighting work? Oh yeah, token vision. Good call. Can you see now? You can see that awesome
can.
Rollsmith logo. Very cool.
I couldn't roll without that awesome logo. You know.
Right?
Yeah.
You needed it
I need
there.
to know where the dice are going, otherwise they go to like the virtual fifth dimension. It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump into the science dice testing laboratory, and as a bonus, just to call out, anybody who rolls a natural 20 tonight will earn an extra hero point for the entire cast on top of the bonus you earned for winning. So natural 20s here can really help you guys, courtesy of the Rollsmith. So, going from left to right, Ninna, why don't you tell us what dice you're using and make that roll?
All right, so for tonight, I'm using one of the newer dice. It's called the Silver Blue Armored Dice. I'm
This is one
excited.
of the new 12 dice that launched this week. Fingers crossed. Let's see what you have.
Happy Pride.
Okay.
16.
16. That's a solid, respectful bar to set. To, you know, you played it safe. You root for the 16 and not for the 20. I respect that strategy. All right. Up next, Rick. Rick, what set are you representing tonight?
The bronze black armored dice.
All right, and feeling the armored dice set, the new kids on the block, right? Let's see if you can hit that 16 mark
Ooh,
with
it's almost a 19.
a 3. Wah,
So
wah.
the science that you were describing seems to have indicated that should have been higher. I'm confused by this microwave process now.
This means don't buy the bronze black dice set because it's going to roll low, right? We're going to prove which dice set won't roll low. Science, baby.
Know what it
yeah,
is?
There it is.
There was Werther's in your grandma's microwave when you rolled. That was the
no.
problem.
That can happen.
Don't put your dice in the microwave.
She microwaves where
I don't know
there's
who's watching.
50% of the time.
No, if you get metal dice, definitely put them in the microwave.
Richard. No.
It makes them roll better.
Speaking of metal dice, Richard, what set are you representing tonight?
For legal reasons, I cannot endorse putting metal dice in the microwave.
You know, I don't know if the metal in microwave does anything anymore these days. I think
I
newer
don't know.
microwaves
I'm not
are better.
gonna find out. But
I'm gonna test it
Reactivate
live at the break.
aluminium.
we'll let you handle that, Steve.
Oh, no.
I am rolling the silvered red armored dice set.
Another of the armored dice set. 16 is the mark to hit. Can you beat it?
Let's go.
Oh, okay. That's a natural 20. Woo-woo.
Maybe there is something to this dice. in the
Look, yeah,
microwave
I'm not
theory.
saying I did not put the dice in the microwave.
So my dice are in the computer. So should I put my whole computer in the microwave? Is this
Yes.
what science telling me?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Well, that's a whole hero point for everyone, but here we go. Tommy, you still have a shot because if you hit a natural 20, you will also earn another round of hero points for everyone. So, Tommy, can you tell us what dice set you are using tonight?
I can. The basic 90s kid who's still reading the young adult books that he grew up with is rolling the Rollsmith's Dragon Saphira. If you know, you know. Let's shot.
There we go. Can you hit a 20?
Ah.
No.
So
An
close
8.
to a 20.
Oh,
So
it was
close.
close.
It was close. But that does mean that our winner for the night is Richard, using the scientifically proven guaranteed for you to roll a natural 20 every time silver. Is it blue, armored blue, silver dice set? What's the title?
Silvered red armored.
Silver red armored dice set. Congratulations to that dice set, and congratulations to Richard. And everyone gets a bonus second hero point to start tonight. And Richard, for winning,
Yes.
you can add the third hero point and max out on your hero point.
E-
You guys want to
know?
skip the downtime and just go to Muglin's house right now for no
Right?
reason?
Right?
Let's
We're
go pick a
ready.
fight.
I mean, look, right? When the dice are hot, Because they're in the microwave. They're hot.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, you know what? That is how we roll here on Recall Knowledge. But yeah,
Dangerously.
we will do more Rollsmith sponsorships and more roll-offs as more new dice sets come out in the future, and we'll do them on nights where you guys might have more at stake. Those natural 20s really will come into play. But we do have one last small announcement to make tonight, and that is next Wednesday, we actually will not be streaming because we have someone like in the Recall Knowledge family who's graduating high school. Well,
Hey.
at least one of our kids are, right, Rick?
Okay.
Congratulations on graduating high school, Rick. I'm so
Yes.
happy.
We did it.
You've
I
been at it for
finally did
many,
it.
many years, and you finally did it. But we will be dark on June 15th, and we will pick up on the 22nd with the next episode. So just enjoy your week off, and we will as a cast as well.
Play Phasmophobia a bunch.
Rick's
Yes.
last name is actually Wilder. You didn't know.
None for Phasm.
Nice. So, I'm just shrinking Tommy down like I was requested to do earlier.
Pew, pew, pew.
Perfect. I
Honey,
forgot about
honey,
it.
I shrunk the Tommy.
Honey,
Yeah,
I've shrunk the Tommy. Put
So-
me in the microwave. Oh, no.
Perfect.
I think that does it for tonight's announcements. And we get to start playing. So viewers, go ahead, sit back, and relax. And players, let's jump into tonight's episode 6 of Outlaws of Alkenstar as we continue playing Punks in a Powderkeg, written by Vanessa Hoskin. Let's go! Woo!
I was like, where's
That-
that going?
I need more cowbell.
Gatekeeper, who do you see fit? You must not let them linger, for they will never quit. I bring this on myself. Nobody else. Tear me apart. Bring me glory. Get out before me.
Why, bro?
And we're back. So,
Oh my god.
actually, I meant to show this feature off the first week, and I didn't. But that is we have this awesome landing screen provided by the module, the Punks in a Powderkeg module. So this is the default landing screen when you first start the adventure, right? We see here a random person in the background. Who is that? It's that Vashon Gattleby doing a demonstration that Anita was totally at. Maybe we'll figure it out tonight. But what's cool about this screen is it allows us to sort of update as we go through the adventure path. So I never updated to chapter 1. So since we're in chapter 1, I'll hit this macro and we'll see the landing page changes. Chapter 1, reach for the sky. And that was very awesome art of you guys robbing the bank. Technically, Marisol.
Definitely does not look like a rust ooze right there. Killing my
no, this is the bank, not the not the scrapyard, right? But we have no idea who these characters are because they're wearing bandit masks. They could be any of the iconics. We'll never know.
It's an interesting gun that they have there.
It seems to be made of magic.
It looks like she's holding the staff and like saying like stick it up, right? Like that's pretty interesting. But the cool thing is tonight we start a new chapter, and that is chapter 2. So as tonight's episode comes to a start, we do kind of fade in, and the first things we see on the bottom of the screen as we're kind of fading in at the Barrel and Bullet Saloon is chapter 2, Run and Gun. That is the name of our second chapter. So, as we fade in on the Barrel and Bullet Saloon, we push in to the push in through the windows, and we kind of can see that the whole tavern has sort of crashed for the night. There are still about a dozen or so people sleeping on the floors, on the sticky, disgusting, whiskey-soaked floors. Need to put on some
Music.
Yeah, I want to do. I thought I had a playlist ready for this. Let's see. Let's do. Yeah, we got a saloon. They got some pretty cool like ambiances, but they're super subtle, right? I'm just gonna put on this playlist by Ivan. So as we come in, we can see that in this night everyone has crashed for the night, everyone's gone to bed. There's only one sort of figure awake, staying up, sitting near a window at the front of the tavern, tucked into a booth. We see a catfolk sort of person. They got like their hood pulled up. They got this sort of like darkish orange fur with like signs of graying. And she's kind of sitting here in the dark, in the quiet, keeping watch. And the silence is sort of punctured by the banging and the hammering of noise. And the camera sort of floats out through the tavern, through the side, out towards what appears to be a small courtyard that exists outside the Barrel and Bullet Saloon. And in the background, we see a sort of shooting range set up with like multiple targets, spent casings everywhere. But the banging is not coming from the shooting range. The banging is coming from this building where one sort of lantern flickers in the dark. And as we go into the window, we can see what appears to be a very well-stocked workshop. This is what we call here at the Barrel and Bullet Saloon the Bullet Works Workshop. The entire building is made of like wood and tin and looks like it might at any moment shift with the heavy winds and collapse upon itself. But inside, we see a well-organized workshop with 2 huge tables, shelves full of alchemical components, clockwork pieces, everything your burgeoning sort of inventor might need to do exactly what we see here, which is Anita working late into the night by herself, working on bringing Wyber back to life. So Anita, as the camera kind of pulls on you, what do we see you doing with your buddy here in the workshop?
We see Anita having worked into the second day, because working late into the night when we showed up at late into
That's
the night.
true. That is a true semantic statement. Yes.
They would be seeing Anita just super hyper focused on Wybert. She's done her best to polish as much of Wybert's casing as possible, but at this point she's focusing a little bit more on the core that usually powers Wybert up. Ever since the rust ooze, she was actually trying to figure out if there would be a way for her to like have essentially like a quick release for the core. That way, if ever it does happen again, and then Wybert does become broken, and luckily at this time, like Wybert's casing wasn't completely rusted and melted off, but right now she's trying to think of a plan B wherein if she can invent a quick release for the core, as long as she has that, then she can make another Wybert. She's also telling herself, don't be sentimental again, while she's working on Wybert. So regardless, it doesn't matter to her that no one is there. She's just hyper focused on the 5'7" robot that's on, I don't know, like a table, like a workshop table that's right in front of her. If ever someone really came in, she wouldn't have noticed, because right now she's really just working on her body, on her mate.
Yep. And as a small recap, in case you're joining us for the first time here at the start of Chapter 2, the crew just got back, the Outlaws just got back from a daring bank heist in which they robbed the Gold Tank Reserve, run and owned and operated by a Ambrose Mugland, and made a daring escape through a scrapyard, which became a graveyard, while hot on their heels were the Shield Marshals, led by none other than Angelique Lovelace. And even going back less than 24 hours ago, Anita and Halbrand started the day in jail. And here you are 24 hours later, doing what you've probably missed so much, Anita, which is work with your hands. And there is definitely a sort of like time skipping montage where we see Anita just working frantically. You got the angle grinder out. You're grinding off the rust spots from Wybert and working on this core and doing everything. I think what happens is you've been working so intently and so long that you don't notice how much time has passed. And we did make this because for an inventor to repair their creature, their companion, sorry, not a creature, it requires a crafting check and a day of downtime, right? Anita made the crafting check last week after we leveled up off stream. You were definitely successful in your crafting check. I don't remember exactly what you rolled, but it was in the high 20s. 25, there we go. So you don't realize how much time has passed as you've been frantically working. But right as you're sort of grinding the last bit of rust spots, I think maybe the door behind you opens and you've got your like sort of ear protection on because it's so loud in here. And we see like towering in the door frame, like so much so that he has to like sort of stoop his head as he comes in, is Saruk with like probably a cup of coffee or something on your behalf.
Yeah, if it's obvious that Anita hasn't been to bed, and when it's like, get up, where's everyone? Is that the sound of an angle grinder? Oh, God damn it. So it's, get the pot. Try not to. I guess every door in Alkenstar is just down, over, Gandalf through.
It's actually the bedrooms that Phoebe has upstairs for you. The ceilings are at 7 feet tall. So you are not even just stooping through doorways. You're like stooping in the bedrooms when you're upstairs here at the Barrel and Bullet. But yeah, Saruk shows up with a cup of coffee for you, and Saruk, you come into the room, and she hasn't noticed you. She's got ear protection on, and it's very loud. You've heard the sparks are flying. You've heard her working through the night.
So with something similar on, if there's a way I can walk in front of in front of Anita's field of view without walking in front of the angle grinder?
Yes. The room's big enough, and she's working right in the center, that you could easily make your way around the kind of perimeter of the room and around the two tables and catch her eye without being in danger or anything.
Sorry to just stop, wave. Pantomime taking off ear protection.
What?
Pantomime's taking off ear protection again.
Oh, Saruk, how are you?
Okay, is this how we're going to do it? Do you want to do you want some coffee?
What? Hang on, let me take this off. Oh, Saruk, how are you?
Oh, there we go. We figured it out. Have you been up all day?
What? Has it been all day?
It has. It's...
No.
Voice in the sky, what time is it?
We're probably just around... Every time you ask me, I'm going to say it. High noon.
Lunch was 30 minutes ago.
It was?
It was. Are you okay? You seem to have made progress anyway.
No, I'm grand. I think I'm this close to bringing Wybert back. Wow. Has it really been a full day.
It has. It really has. Do you want help? I set the coffee down and pour you a mug and slide it over?
Well, I do have this idea of doing a quick release on Wybert's core. Do you see this? And then she points at Wybert's core. And then when Saruk leans in and sees Wybert's core, she can they'd see how actually very intricate the core is. It's pretty much like a Tesla coil that shrunk down into that nice little tiny Iron Man circle in the middle of Wybert's chest. So
Ever
this
have
thing,
an arc reactor?
yeah.
Okay.
So this thing is what powers Wybert. This is what makes Wybert powerful. This is what Muglin was trying to steal. So I was
That
thinking,
makes sense.
because we were so close on actually having it all disappear before our eyes, so maybe you could help me figure out a way to do essentially like a quick release button to where like I could hold it and not die from all the energy that's gonna come out of it if I do hold it with my bare hands.
Indeed. Certainly the getting out seems easy enough. There are, not far from where I come from, there's a city whose navy fashioned a set of latches where if they were to fall in the water, they could, and then off comes their armor so they don't sink into the sea with it. That part seems easy, the not electrocuting yourself in the process. Could we perhaps, I don't know, maybe something to house it that would ground it? Is that possible without, and then like leans in to look at the inner workings of the construct to try to figure out how it works?
I was thinking about that, but do you see how big Wybert is right now? The reason why he himself isn't actually melting into another ooze is because of how big he is and how thick everything is. I would prefer not to make, like a glove that would allow me the ability to hold on to it, but I don't know, it's just when we were going through that scrapyard after the ooze, I just felt really useless. So I was thinking that maybe if Wybert isn't able to help and I could get the core, then maybe I'll be more useful. I don't want to use Wybert as a crutch the entire time that I'm working with you guys.
I understand. Perhaps next time, if we find ourselves backed into the corner, we should consider our other options more quickly. Saruk picks up the coffee mug and like sets it down on the table, and then up, down again. A much more efficient route than having to tangle with anything in the first place. Though if it's helpful, I think your friend would have died, if not for looks over to Wybert.
Oh, Albert.
It's fortunate that I met Refi, but maybe I should mean all of us. It's fortunate that we have a shock trooper with us who, forgive me, I hesitate to call them expendable, but not a soul inside. You know what I mean?
No, I really do. Actually, last night while I was working on Robert, I was thinking that maybe I should stop being sentimental over things that aren't really organic. Being around you all has been the most I've been around people, so it's a little uncomfortable. But I'm realizing that I actually enjoy it a little bit.
Funny how that works. I understand being sentimental about things that aren't people. I pick up the multi-pistol, pull it from its holster. I got this from a Corsair en route between here and Alkenstar, and I've grown rather attached to it. I spin the barrel. I don't quite understand the how, but if I were to lose it, I would be sad. And if this is something so important and so new, perhaps is the best word, that the powers that be within the city want to implicate you in crimes and steal it from you. There is obviously a personal reflection on it in terms of your own, dare I say, greatness. So I think it's okay to be attached to it.
Thanks. Kojak told me once that maybe I shouldn't be attached to it all the time because I was just stuck in my room. But hey, it got me out of my room because now, well, not now, but I got on Bleffe.
This is true. I take it Kojak wanted you to go out and meet more people then, or?
I think partly Kojak wanted me to kind of like take over the, I don't know, the family business. That's why I even know how to patch up wounds a little bit, or as little as I know how to. It's because of him. I think that's really the most part of it. He wanted me to go to Bliffair at some point. I guess he just never realized that in order for me to get to Bliffair, it was essential for me to actually stay in my room, that talking to other people, being as extroverted as he wasn't really going to bring me there.
This is true. I've known a lot of people who would rather not be out and about and would be much more comfortable in a small space working on a thing, and it was that thing that you worked on in a small space that got you to that place that Kojak wanted you to be in the first place. It's a little bit of irony, no?
I know. I felt like I did something out of spite, and don't tell Kojak if you do meet him, but I've always wanted to rebel a little bit. Kind of like, you know how Refi is all natural, like just very rebellious, but I could never do that in front of Kojak. But when I did succeed in going to Blifford because of why, but I felt like I was rebelling against him a little bit. So
succeeding in spite of. I understand. Yeah. I wouldn't call what Refi does rebelling in the strictest sense. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make this a much bigger, broad political discussion. I mostly came here to ask if you wanted to help. I should probably not preach at people when they haven't slept and they've been up all night apparently fixating on fixing their, what is the word? Sort of snaps a bunch. Magnum opus? Is that too much?
No, that hits a little bit. But I mean, I'd like to thank you because I actually felt like I'm breathing again. Whereas earlier I felt like I was just so focused on Wyberg.
Fair. Earlier as in earlier last night, or as in?
You know, so much has happened. It's only been 2 days, really. I got out of prison with Halbrand, and then I saw you guys again. I punched Refi. He bought some pickles. Halbrand started getting emotional in front of us. We robbed a bank. We went through a scrapyard. I think... What do you think? Maeve told me once that this could be a coping mechanism, distracting myself from actually reflecting on the things that happened.
I've known people that do that. Yeah, I think that's a matter of perspective. Is that why you do it? Do you... maybe a better way to say it. In combination with in your life in general, or in this particular moment, have you decided to ignore sleep and thinking about things by waves over towards Wyvern fixing this up entirely? Or do you think that's not the case?
Oh, maybe. I mean, it's more manageable, yeah? I think
Fair.
Thinking of things that aren't really in your control, when you have something that is in your control, I feel it's a little bit more... I feel it's actually crazier to think about things that you can't control instead of just pouring your time over something that you can.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of wisdom in that.
Yeah, but some say that it's unhealthy, but I don't know. I guess I disagree on.
I think there's a line. I understand how it feels to be in a situation where you're caught up in things and you have no control over the outcome.
Is that how you feel now about Gimfrak?
Exactly. In my case, I traveled several thousand miles to make it right, and to say I gave up is a strong word. I'm sure my family would take me back if I were to return home. But it's definitely a harder existence. Back in Matakali, I mostly did desk work. Here, I'm, being consumed by oozes or I'm about a half step away from doing things that run across my moral compass in a way that I don't think I could ever stomach. Here, it's the line between violating the law and... I don't even know how to fucking phrase it. Be an actual force of law in a world where those who are supposed to be the force of law are motivated by currency, greed.
Farouk, around this time, right, you're talking, you're kind of pouring your heart out about these feelings. The door that you came in is like left cracked just a little bit, and you're looking kind of through Anita because her back was to the door when you came in, and you see something that like startles you, and it looks like the tail of an animal sort of slithering through the door, like into this room and out. Like you're pretty sure some sort of creature just slithered from the room you guys were in and snuck out of this crack out of here, and it caught your attention because you were very alert looking in that direction.
Oh my gods. 1 second, and I'll step out the door, open the door.
You kind of like open the door fully and give it a quick look around. There is nothing there. There is no animal. There is no footprints. The only disturbance here out in this kind of dirt is your own footprints coming through the sort of dry, hard-packed dirt backlot.
There's a quick look around, look for tracks. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. I thought I saw something come in the door. Maybe I need sleep.
Yeah, and I think you probably oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, have you all talked to Phoebe since you all woke up?
Not yet. I wanted to come here first. I guess I assumed at some point the four of us would reconvene with her and then we would get our next standing orders. That feels like a strong word as well. But so far as I'm aware, we are good to crash here. Waves hand generally forward.
Yeah, and I think you kind of finish that as the door closes and the camera kind of goes out and leaves you guys. We hear conversation kind of drifting away, and the noise picks back up as you guys begin, reworking on Wybert and kind of continuing the repairs. He's really close to being functional, Anita. He's just, he needs a lot of repaired stuff. I think the ooze kind of got through some of the cracks and really rusted out some of the inner workings of his wiring, and that's you're just replacing basically 100 tiny little wires and soldering it to the correct location. It's a lot of precise work that needs to be done to get Wybert.
For
1 gallon of WD-40 right now.
And the camera leaves this sort of gunworks tin shack out in the back of the bar and drifts back past the bathroom, back towards the tavern. And as we kind of push in through one of the windows, we can see a few people have already gathered here. Most of the people that have slept here in the morning have already gotten up and gone off to work or other places. There's already 3 or 4 people that are here for drinks and just avoiding whatever plagues them in their day. But 2 that are kind of exhausted looking and sitting here in the middle of the bar with the table to themselves is Refugule and Halbrand. So the camera sort of comes into the 2 of you, and we see off to the side Phoebe has woken up. She looks exhausted, and you see her. She's got that dossier that Saruk dropped off to her, and you just see her with her eyepiece, and she's just flipping through, writing stuff down as she's doing breaking the code while making sure the bar is getting up and running for the day.
Alright. Right, Hal. So, what'd you wake me up so early for?
Phoebe said that you wanted to see me in the common room. So, I'm not really sure it was me. I was dead asleep. Well, not that asleep. I was really sleeping.
She said that you wanted to see me. Bloody fucking hell. What time is it?
Too early.
Yeah, you can look over.
The sun's out.
Oh god, it's way too early.
That's the best description of like.
I don't. I'm not a big fan of the sunlight. It makes everything look washed out. Now, last night when you saw that fungus patch, it was vibrant. But during the day, when the sun's out, everything just looks washed out to me.
That's not normal. I think it's mostly the opposite for most people. Don't get me wrong. I'm no big fan of the daytime either. Right? It's bright, gets in your eyes, makes it hard to shoot. People see where you're going and coming to. But I think most people actually see better during the day than at night.
I mean, not most people I know. I mean, hell, I only know you and some of the shield marshals, but I could definitely see better at night. Everything looks much more vibrant, like comes alive, like the night blooming jasmines down by the brothel. Like in the back there's the alley. If you go over another street and you turn right, one of the big shots have them landed in front of their walled off house, and you could go there just after sundown. It smells fantastic. You could actually see them. You can, at night they bloom like a nice lavender color. Little golden pollen radiates up into the air. It's a sight to see, and well, it smells nice.
Yeah.
Not much smells nice around here.
Not the biggest fan of those, actually.
From the corner, like as you guys have this moment of silence, like Phoebe is like kind of looking over her like eyepiece, calls out to you guys like, "Boys, I'll be right with you. I got some work. Are your friends ready, available? I mean, maybe you can round them up. I'd just love to finalize plans. Just give me like 10 minutes." And she like disappears.
How about some whiskey while we're waiting?
Whiskey?
Yeah, that was my first request.
That was
second one is, after this meeting, can I go back to bed?
Me too.
I guess I'm not your mother's. And then she like goes behind the bars, and you said 2 whiskeys.
Or the bottle.
Yeah.
The bottle. Great. Bottle's gonna run you 10 gold.
Split it.
2 whiskeys.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 whiskeys. Great. Flamin' whiskeys or regular whiskeys? You look over the bar, and like behind her, you see there's like a big sort of like touristy sign for like the Barrel and Bullet famous fireside whiskey.
What do you think, Hal?
I think it probably will keep me awake. I'm gonna pass on the flaming stuff.
I'll give it a try.
All right.
Ooh. Okay, so she there's no bar, like there's no like racks behind her. She has everything under the counter. She doesn't keep it where people can just reach over and take it. She's got everything locked up. So she goes underneath, she unlocks the bar, she pours 1 straight whiskey for Hal, and then for Refukill, you watch she basically puts a glass out. She's got 2 like bottles. One is the same whiskey that poured for Hal, and she adds it to the cup. She's got another clear bottle of something that she pours and mixes into the glass. And then you see her duck underneath the counter for just a minute, and she comes up and she has a small, almost looks like a poison vial type thing. And she unscrews the lid and has like an eyedropper. And she just very carefully does 3 drops of something into the water. And as she does, it like bursts into like flame. And the whole thing is now literally burning. And she comes over to your table and she puts the drink down in front of each of you. So she does let you know, she puts it down and she says, "I'll just open a tab," and she leaves the drinks and disappears.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think drinks are on the house usually if you're gonna be waking people up. But well,
Doesn't sound like she's giving you free drinks.
Cheers, breakfast of champions, say.
Cheers.
And I'll down the shot without even putting it out.
Okay, yeah, without even putting it out, you just down it. So, oh man, where is this? There's a macro for this, and I don't see where it is. There's actually an effect if you drink this drink. Come on, Foundry people. Yeah, where is the? Oh, okay, here we go. It's a roll table. It's not a macro. That's why. So I'll go ahead and roll and see what effects happen to Reficule. You drink the flaming whiskey without putting it out. It literally singes and burns the inside of your mouth and throat as the fire washes down. For the next 1 hour, you have a -1 penalty on linguistic base, like social checks, and you cannot yell or sing for 8 hours.
Just about to give a performance too.
But it doesn't hurt you. It's weird. You would expect the flames to hurt. It burns, but there's no pain other than the lingering effects of a fiery burnt throat. It was really weird. Your face didn't catch fire, your hair didn't catch fire, your clothing didn't catch fire. Just a slight burning in your mouth.
It's pretty good. Yep. Not bad. Not bad.
First time again?
Just haven't drinking too many things on fire before. Figured I'd try it.
You're a little quieter than normal. That hurt? Like, bother you a little bit?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a tingle, but didn't actually burn too bad. But bit scratchy going down.
You see a thought bubble go over Hal's head, and there's a picture of Anita sitting next to him, eating at the prison. Just
right. There's a little shot of the whiskey for the stream too. She serves it with like a slice of cactus on the edge of the rim of the glass.
Well, the sooner we go get our friends, right? The sooner we're gonna hear what Phoebe has to say. The sooner we can get back to.
You want to try and get at?
Worst part of the day off.
If you want to go in there, try to get Anita out of that workshop before she's finished working, you be my guest. I'd love to see it happen.
Maybe if we just stay here, Phoebe will go and do it.
I think that's a better option.
So you sit and wait and long enough for Phoebe to like have to go do it. So she asks for 10 minutes. It actually she takes about 30 before she's ready. And then she rolls her eyes. She goes out to like the bullet like workshop, like kicks in the door like really loud and says, "You're needed." And doesn't even like just shouts it into the room and turns around and walks away.
What happened?
What? Looks. Now someone definitely opened the door.
Yeah.
Steps outside again.
You see Phoebe walking back towards the bar, and she kind of walks in to the saloon, looks at like Halbrand and Reficule, and just motions you and walks back to the same meeting room she's been using for all of your sort of secret briefing.
Come on, we can get back to this after. It'll be 5 minutes.
We have to? Do I have to? I'd have to.
We have to. Come on.
All right. Oh, by the way, I'd love to still hear about your sisters.
Yeah, of course. On that note, tomorrow I'm planning on stopping by Aldo's and spending some of the money we're making on a very, very large party, which will involve a lot of food, and I'm probably going to try to fix some shit up around the place. If you want to show up, I'm sure I'll be in a talkative mood.
All right. A party. If I haven't passed out yet.
That is... Please sleep. But first this. Come on.
All right.
Okay. So Hal and Ruffy, you see like Saruk and Anita coming back into the tavern, and you guys just you see them. You see, I guess you wouldn't see. You see the remnants of a whiskey glass with a slice of cactus on the side.
This better
should
be
try
good.
Refi said that's really good. You right up your
Well-
alley. A drink. I mean, after
It's
you're
a
done.
Flaming whiskey.
Not that bad, huh?
I'm sure it's good. Ruffy looks like he's hurting.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's only because he got up
I
early.
drink it.
So once, yeah, there's no more flaming whiskey, right? It's just the regular whiskey left, I think.
I think we drunk all of it. We just got two.
You can order another one if you want, but Phoebe
Yeah.
is the one that makes them. So, anyways, we're back into the same meeting room. She keeps bringing you back to this first meeting room, like it's a private room. She shuts it. As soon as she shuts it, the whole world like kind of dims out. It's very deceptively well built because the minute she closes it, it's completely silent. No sounds coming in or out of here. This is where she conducts a lot of her secret business. And she just, first thing she asks is, so, take it you slept okay? Those of you who slept, and she kind of like sideways gives a glance at you, Anita.
I could have slept earlier if you didn't take me out of my workshop.
Well, I could have actually slept without headphones or earplugs. There we go. Earplugs. I know words. If you hadn't been working in my workshop all night.
It's essential. Wybert is needed by the team. Wybert isn't there, and a lot of us would have been dead right now.
So the rest of you, your accommodations were acceptable.
Yeah.
You've had
Except for the early morning wake up call.
well, we got business to attend to. You can get back to sleep. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Have you had a bit of time to digest the awesome secret that I revealed last night? And she does like one of these flourishes.
No,
I think
spies.
collectively, we've had enough time to either go fix a large construct or immediately pass out from an eventful evening. But go on.
Well, first of all, you're welcome for getting you out of jail, those of you who I sprung yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She literally stares and waits for the thank you before she continues, right? She lets that like uncomfortable moment hang for a long time. You're welcome.
Were you depositing any funds into Anita's account? Because she was reading a lot of books while she was in there. She'd go to the commissary and like check out a book or two, and then I'd go to check out a book, and most of them were gone.
Well, I made sure you had a little bit of comfortableness while you were in there, I hope. Hope you got some of my little gifts along the way, my care packages.
Appreciate
That's
it.
you. I guess
Was.
Anita
Because-
eyes her curiously.
Because, Anita, like I said last night, I think you're the key to what we need to do next. Because, and bear in mind, anything I say here is considered top secret. If you breathe a word of this to anyone outside of this room, I will kill you.
Sir's eyes narrow, but he doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say
Uh,
anything.
Yeah, she just has that like stoic like look on her face. Like she doesn't. If she's joking, she's trying to make it seem like she's not. For this next job, the Duchess has asked us to secure some very precious cargo. She slides like under her thing a big old like broadsheet across the table. And it's a poster that says Vashon Gattleby's Pyro Night exhibition at Blithier College. On the poster itself, it looks like there's this man. He's got like crazy hair, goggles on his forehead. He looks dirty. Even in this like poster someone made of him to make him look his best, he still looks filthy. And he's clearly like old in his 50s, not quite as old as Hal, but getting there. And there's some hyperbolic copy all written on that page. It says, "Once in a lifetime explosive showcase." And I think as oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to lean over to Refi and say, I'm 38.
Stark white and everything. Yeah.
Go ahead.
The mana wastes will wear on you.
So I think Anita's looking down at this flyer, and you like blink, and there's like a cross cut, and we see like a younger, not much younger, but a very less worn on your face, cut back to like 3 months ago, 3 months and some change ago, and we see an auditorium like full of people, and there's students here at Blither College, and we're in one of the largest auditoriums that exist on the campus. The room is packed. The same poster is plastered all over the wall. Gattleby's face, explosive showcase once in a lifetime. There's all this talk about people and if this is really going to be as revolutionary as it says, because there's a lot of theatrics that goes on in the kind of academic circuit and trying to make your work seem a little bigger than it is. And, everyone is kind of hushed into their seats, and you take a seat, and there is a sort of a tapping of a microphone, and one of your professors gets up and says, "It's my great pleasure to welcome Vashon Gattleby." And there's like a polite clapping.
Woo!
Yeah, Anita, you know Gattleby, right?
Mm-hmm. He's one of my mentors.
There's that, like, yeah. So he's standing up on the stage. He's looking out into the sea of people, and Anita, he made eye contact with you, and you can feel it, right? Like he waves.
Good luck.
Yeah, he does. You wave at him like that, and he does like a wave, like at the whole crowd, but like you've taken it as like a wave to you, right?
Of course.
And he gets up on stage and he talks about black powder. The cornerstone of Alkenstar technology. Yes, for its time, it was a great invention, but alas, we can do better. And he goes behind him, and he has this giant sort of like tube of something, and he holds it up, and he says, "This is what I call pyronite, a safer, more stable, an explosive for our future. Let me demonstrate." And he calls and he waves on, and somebody rolls out a super heavy iron safe. Not quite as big as the one you guys ranted the night before. It is a freestanding safe that can be rolled out onto the stage, but it's got 12-inch steel thick doors on it. Let me demonstrate for you exactly how revolutionary this is. And he opens like the canister, and he gets like some tweezers he has, and he carefully draws out a tiny little pellet, no more than the size of like a bullet head. He says, "If my calculations are correct, this should prove to be extremely sufficient in removing these doors." And there's like a sign goes up, and it's like, "Goggles on, everyone!" And like everyone reaches under their seats and puts on their little science goggles. And like the whole audience is like kind of putting it on. And Gattleby gets up there, right? And he takes right on the hinge. He places one little this little drop of this pyronite right on the edge of it. And you watch as he takes like a little, almost like a twisty fuse thing, and like connects it and goes over to where he's got a detonator ready, and he's behind a blast shield. And he counts down like 3, 2, 1. For our future! And he pushes the button, and everything goes to hell. The explosion is so powerful that the entire safe door is exploded. The whole back of the auditorium explodes with fire. The whole back of the room is now on fire, charred. The safe has gone through a wall 3 classrooms away and landed in the middle of someone's lecture. The giant door has shot across the audience and cartwheeled its way right up the middle as people dive out of the way and like people get crushed. There's like one sort of like person that gets caught under the door as the door like falls over, and like fire alarms start going off, and the whole room like gets filled with like fire extinguisher as the room puts itself out. And we come back into this moment as Anita is staring at that poster. Yeah, Anita, you know all about pirating.
That was a marvelous demonstration that he did. It did end up very badly, though.
Yes, badly is one way of putting it. I mean, he leveled half of Blithir's auditorium, did he not?
He didn't kill anyone.
Well, not for a lack of trying. Well, I don't think he tried, but you know what I mean, right? This stuff is... Well, it's powerful. And Gattlby's invention has definitely gotten some notoriety and quite a few admirers recently. And not all of them of the right mindset. She stops. Everyone who wants a piece of the man, a piece of an invention, including our mutual acquaintance, Ambrose Buglin. Thankfully, Gattleby has turned down everyone who's tried to hire him, buy the formula outright. He has holed himself up in his house since the demonstration and hasn't taken a single visitor or left. He's obsessed with what he calls fixing his failures. But not everyone sees this as a failure. They see it as a very lucrative opportunity. Fortunately,
Right,
that's good.
So the Duchess wants us to get Bastion.
Correct. The Duchess and I have convinced Gattleby he'd be better off here in my workshop, safe from prying eyes, where nobody knows where he is. Once he's safe back here at the Barrel and Bullet, simple enough, right? Go get Gattleby, bring him back here, and I'll pay you 50 gold apiece for making it happen.
Did you already try before? Try getting Gattleby.
For good reason, Gattleby is short on trust these days. You, however, have a connection, do you not? He knows you. He trusts you. He's worked with you before. You are his peer, no?
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Perfect. When we dropped your name, he said, if you're involved, he's in.
Speaking of trust, I had no problem getting into business with someone who wanted to take down Mugland, like we did. But how do we know that we can trust you now and trust the Duchess? If the Duchess is involved, if she is your patron, why doesn't she just gather Bastion herself? Take down Mugland herself. Improve the lives of the people in this city herself. She's the Duchess, is she not?
Refi is correct. I question your role in this, perhaps, is the best way to phrase it, and why we are even needed.
When you've been in politics as long as we have, it's no secret that you can't accomplish everything that needs to be done with decrees and signatures and tariffs. Sometimes you need someone to get your hands dirty on the ground floor. That's where I, and now you, come in.
I've been someone's hands who didn't want to get their own dirty. How do we know that we won't get burned at the end of this?
Indeed. What's to say we don't go and do the thing, and then we come back with several bullet holes in us, if all of us even come back at all? Where's the fallback? Do we get what, swooped in by the Duchess and her forces and carried away off to safety, or is it just the status quo is maintained and 4 other people, some of which might have a connection to the person you need, are roped into a thing and then put on the front lines?
Listen, we do what we do because what we do cannot be linked with the Duchess. There is no cavalry coming. There is no safety net. You're right. You are here because you are expendable. But I offer you a simple choice, right? I offer you the opportunity for the revenge. And the opportunity to make this place a little safer at the same time. You don't want to do that? That's fine. The door is right there. I'll round up. I'll call some of the shield marshals. We can book you right now for the crimes you've committed, and the world will be a more dangerous place.
Aye, especially if we're all dead. And Raffi emphasizes all.
Are you not also guilty of many things like, oh, I don't know, hiring a bunch of people to do crimes?
Unofficially. But I have friends in high places. And if you do this, you'll have friends in high places.
I'm not interested in any more friends in high places. What guarantee do we have that once the Duchess gets what she wants, that she won't just cut us loose and leave the status quo as it has been and let Muglin do what he's been doing for years in her city?
The stakes are higher than ever now. Pyronite it's dangerous. Gattleby blew up nearly an entire building with a dose no bigger than the size of a musket ball. If Muglin gets a hold of this, who knows what he'll do with it. He's a businessman. He sees this as a purely financial thing, but the fallout effects of this technology in the open, it's something that Alkenstar and frankly the world cannot abide.
I'm not questioning the logic. I'm questioning whether or not... Never mind. We're going to go in circles all day, and there are people here who need to rest.
You're worried.
I got a question.
You're worried about dying. I'll give you a choice. If you're worried about dying, that's fine. You can go right back to... I can send you to prison today, and you can live out your days happily ever after.
Yeah, okay, because that's any kind of a fucking choice.
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page.
So, we're gonna go on these fetch quests of yours and get paid to do it. And if we want, we can just crash here on the floor. Is that
I
right?
will gladly hold a room for you. You don't have to sleep on the floor, but yeah, you're welcome.
I mean,
to
I was
stay.
literally sleeping in an alley behind a brothel last week, so well, no, actually, Aldo's for the last few months, but before that, due to some unforeseen circumstances, I was sleeping in a brothel. You got me out of prison. I don't want to go back there.
Great.
So I'm willing to do the work as long as you can lead me to Angelique.
Well, she's attached to Muglin at the hip. She's involved in this as much as anyone.
So you're authorized to speak on behalf of the Duchess, then?
I've been given my orders.
Right. So let me ask you this, then. Criminal to criminal. If we give the Duchess what she wants, I want Muglin.
To do what?
That's all I need.
Like, want Muglin?
little more civilized than that, and I lean back and pull the jacket back, and the dueling pistol is at my hip.
Well, that's what I'm offering. A shot. Muglin,
All right.
Loveless, they want the formula desperately. Have no shred of evidence of their plans up to this point, but it's only a matter of time until they slip up. And when that happens and he makes a mistake and you are there, you'll have your chance to make things right. Whatever that means to you.
Fair enough. That was a question. Now here's the warning. As I said, I've been in the hands of friends in high places who tried to cut them off after they were no more use. But I'm still here. And I'll still be here if that happens again.
You can drink to that. One criminal. Nay, one survivor.
Anita,
Yes.
remind me not to wake up Reficule early in the day.
Yeah, you're never supposed to. Did you do that?
He's in some sort of way right now.
Oh, alright. So we're getting Gattleby? Sorry.
Oh, and then also, Phoebe, like, kind of pinches the bridge of her nose. She goes, oh, right. One more hiccup. As part of our arrangement, Gattleby has made us promise that he'd be able to make a stop along the way here. Near Ironside Quarter, there's some abandoned brewery. Got me why, but that's the deal. Stop at a place called the Yeast of All Brewery.
The yeast.
Anyway, it might be a good place to lay low and catch your breath if you need to. Either way, we don't have much time. From the information I have, Muglin and Loveless are likely to make a play for Gattleby soon. He's been moving money around, paying off some shady folk. I give you guys 4 days to get Gattleby out of there.
4 days beginning today or 4 days beginning tomorrow?
4 days from today. You can go sooner, but I wouldn't wait any longer. Be ready. Muglin's mercenaries are everywhere. Loveless's street gangs are patrolling the streets. Anyone else under our rivals' thumbs, they're going to be throwing everything they got at you. And she kind of pulls out a little map of Alkenstar and unravels it for you guys. So I'll activate this map for you real quick. But you should scout the route you plan to take with Gattleby, just to make sure it's safe. Anita, he's expecting you, so you have to be there to make contact.
All right.
Any other?
Does he know that we're coming? Like
He's agreed. He's agreed.
Like 4 days from now, he knows that we're coming.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Anita, but a lot
Probably
of these eccentric types, they don't like to leave their work behind.
Ah.
Sorry about that.
Must have been that whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, it's infectious.
But yeah, that's her thing. Like, any other concerns I can alleviate, and she smiles at Saruk.
Saruk just smiles back.
Great. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. Oh, I almost forgot. She kind of goes into her little inside of her vest, and she pulls out a little pouch with like 10 gold coins in it, and she tosses it and it lands like in front of you, Saruk. Does that information you brought, the ledger, hand out? Turns out that Dresh, the manager of the bank, had been embezzling from Muglin for some time. Now we have the leverage. We might be able to get her to crack.
I'm so glad to have been of service.
She kind of winked, and she go ahead and leaves the room. But yeah, you guys have 10 more gold. I mean, she handed it to Saruk, but you guys can divide it as you want. 10 gold bonus for bringing that in. And she, as the last thing she says, remember, no one outside this. And she closes.
I hate this fucking city.
Oh, business as usual.
Hey, you all could meet Vashin.
Oh.
You're
Right.
funny, man.
Does anyone have any pressing need to do this today?
Well, we do it 4 days.
The only thing I need to do is head out to a fence that I was getting stuff out on the desert before. He has a kind of a unique sword. I don't think he knows I know it, but it's sitting there under his junk pile. I mean, y'all can, and I point to Saruk, and then finish fixing your robot. I need to make a couple purchases. Maybe after the sun goes down, if you'll head out that way.
I don't feel like sleeping much right now.
Well, I'm gonna go after the sun goes down.
Go, like, you're going to start scouting for the routes to Vashin, like what Phoebe said?
Nope, I just need to buy a few things.
So mechanically, there is, because you now know the map, you know where everything is. You've unlocked this new downtime activity you guys can spend during these 4 days if you want to spend any of your time doing it. This is the scout the route sort of downtime activity. It takes half a day of downtime, so if you spend a full day, you can do it twice. Basically, what you do is you basically walk the route, try to plan, look for any like shady spots or best places, and every time you succeed in the check, you earn, I think they're called preparation points. And every time you earn 2 preparation points, I'll give you a bit of info that you can use that will help prepare for what's going to happen. And during the actual like escort mission, you can cash the points in you've earned to help the group overcome challenges. So the more time you spend being prepared, the easier it'll be during the escort mission. The information you learn is all group shared, but the scouting points you earn are individual.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just need to go and buy a few things.
Alright. I mean, I think that I'm gonna pass out soon. So, maybe... Is it alright if you guys wait for me to wake up again and then we can start planning things out? Or I could stay and plan things out right now. I just don't know. I'll be a lot of help. Because I don't even know where I'm at. I don't know where my fingers are at.
No,
Yeah,
I'm going
that
to bed.
doesn't surprise me. Get some rest. I think I'll defer to the locals on this one. You all know this place better than I do.
Get some sleep, Annie.
Thinking about it, tomorrow night I'm stopping by Aldo's and I'm gonna invest in the town a little bit in a way that involves a lot of food and a lot of drink.
Yes,
You all are, of course, invited.
Alright, I'm gonna sleep really quick. Oh wait, no, fuck. I gotta finish Viber first. I'll finish Viber and then.
You tell when you're going to sleep, and then you go back and finish Whitebird.
Just sleep grinding.
I probably fall asleep like on top of Viber.
Yeah, we will say though, before you end up passing out fully, you do successfully get Whitebird up and running.
Yes.
Like, you connect to the last thing, you flip them on, and then the little emotive eye flap comes to life, and it gets stuck for a second, and then Wybird is staring up at you with all the emotion that a robotic, one-eyed creature with a single eyebrow flap.
Buddy. Oh, you're my best mate. Oh,
I think you fall asleep and Wybert scoops you up and carries you to bed.
Yeah. As I go in and check in, Refi goes in and checks in on Annie and sees Wybert carrying her off the bed, and I just kind of give Wybert a pat on the shoulder. Yeah, Refi's not really in the mood to sleep anymore. I'd like to look around for any sort of old, maybe like large wooden like coat hangers, like with the multiple, pegs, or old like broken clockwork or mannequin or something around.
Absolutely. In the sort of main tavern hall, there is a bunch of like currently unused coat racks for like cowboy hats and coats, lining near the front. And since they're unused, you'd easily be able to scoop one up. Do what you want.
Right. So Refi takes one of those, kind of goes off into the back of the saloon, maybe into the alley, sets it down there, takes off his coat, lays it down, pulls out that bit of cloth that he found in the scrapyard there. Looks at it for a while and thinks back and thinks that it looks very similar to the wraps of someone he once knew a long time ago. So you see him start to slowly wrap his arms with this cloth. Sort of looks at the coat hanger and just, with a quick jab, his right hand, you hear a thud. Cracks his neck. Does it again. Goes into a cross, then a block, and then an elbow. And you see him start to just go to town on this coat hanger for the remainder of the day, until he's just drenched in sweat.
I think maybe like a few hours into this, right? Sweaty, getting all exhausted. You don't notice, but there is a voice that's kind of off screen that calls and says, "You're pretty good at that, kid."
I quickly grab my hat and put it back on. I forgot I took off my hat and put it on the ground.
Right.
Not doing all this with that on, but quickly put my hat back on and turn.
Mhm.
Who do I see?
There is this sort of catfolk woman with like, she's got bits of graying at the ends of her, but she's got this dark orange fur, patches of black like on her feet. She's dressed not dissimilar from you. She's got like a little cowboy duster on. She's got a frilly shirt and some like pants. But you can see that she's almost, the expression on her face is mocking you. She's definitely taller than you, but super lithe and like frail looking. You're pretty good at beating up something that doesn't fight back.
Oh. Bit out of practice. What's it to you?
It's been a minute since I tried the old knuckle dusters out, and she kind of cracks her neck, and you watch. She goes into her coat pocket and she pulls out like a brass knuckles and slips it onto her one hand, and she's got her like, as she takes her coat off, she's got a gun holstered on like the right side, and she puts the knuckles on her left hand, and she like looks, says, "I don't think I'll be needing this," and she unbuckles the gun belt and kind of tosses it onto the side.
I give a smirk.
Mind a sparring match.
I'll go and unbuckle my own holster. Place it nearby. But and I don't say anything. I just unbuckle it, smile, hands up.
She kind of smiles. She gets in a position across from you. You actually watch as she does like an actual like little bow, and then she raises her like her fists, her brass knuckle fist up, and then she kind of goes right at you. And I think that's where we cut away from you guys, like kind of fighting. And I think that cuts us to our first break, or our only break of the night. It is currently 8:32, which is a good time to stretch our legs and go to the bathroom. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll start, the rest of our day one stuff. We got a lot of days to get through and a lot of fun stuff that I'm sure you guys want to get between being, drafted into the CIA. But
I know,
while
we're
we're
the CIA now.
kind of, yeah, like it's Suicide Squad, Expendables, there's different ways. Either way, it's not the best place to be. But while we're at break, let's take the time to support us here at Recall Knowledge. You can head on over to twitch.tv/Recall Knowledge to follow us if you're watching on YouTube. We also accept your Amazon Prime subs if you got one to get, or any sub for that matter. If you're on Twitch, head on over to youtube.com/Recall Knowledge. As well, look for Recall Knowledge on Patreon. Patreon is the best way to support us. If you want to head over and check it out, we've got some exclusive maps coming out, some behind the scenes. We're gonna have some behind the scenes looks at some upcoming content we're gonna be releasing soon, which will be fun. And yeah, that's just the best way to support us. And go check out the GM prep video I put. Not you players, except for Richard, who was in my chat during the show, and Nina. But
I heard it was definitely not Richard.
Not Richard was in it. Yeah. GM prep.
It was definitely almost Tommy. We saw it. It was like, oh god, are we streaming today? Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's a fun look at like episode 1 of like kind of if you're running this, or if you're planning to run this, or if maybe you just want to see some behind the scenes lore, go check it out. It's a fun series on Recall Knowledge. Otherwise, we're going to be back in 10 minutes with more Outlaws of Alkenstar. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy these fun videos that we have at the break. See you in a minute, cowboy.
Fun.
And we're back. Welcome back to Outlaws of Alkenstar. Thanks for holding in for a little bit longer of a break, as we had a little bit of mic issues we had to fix, but I think we're sounding good now, right? Yeah, everyone. If you can hear us on stream, yeah, I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So, we come back. We're now in the official like downtime part of the show. So, you guys, according to Phoebe, have up to 4 days of downtime to use at your discretion. You know what your next mission is. You know what you're doing. And you guys have the floor, and you guys tell me how you would like to spend your time.
Starting with?
Well,
you've just volunteered.
You volunteered. So I think Hal is walking into like a little store, right? There's like a ding ding as like the door hits the bell, and there's this like kind of like kobold that is like standing behind a counter that you can't even really see. The kobold has to like scuttle up onto the counter just to see over the top, and you walk in and we see a very weird sort of store. It's a very eclectic store here. There's not like, we're not in a weapon store, we're not in a firearm store, we're like in this curio shop almost, and the sign that behind the counter kind of gives it away, which is just like Miko's pawn shop. And so
Hal's like digging in his pockets, and he's like, I had it here somewhere. He pulls out a cigarette case and he folds the back, and there's a piece of paper, and he hands it. I'm back. Finally, I know. I'm back. Here you go.
Yeah. He takes the paper like, oh, and this describe what this paper looks like. How, like, it's probably been through some stuff, right?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit wet right now because he fell into the puddle with the rust ooze. And it had to have been several, like more than several months old, probably several years old at this point.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I'm sure you can still see the numbers on there. Except for that dirty sword there.
Yeah, the paper is like frayed at the end and like super stained. Basically, Miko's like, this paper sort of predates our current inventory system. He sees you're pointing at like the sword behind the counter, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still there. It's been all these years.
The dirty one with the curved edge and that black scabbard goes with it. So
he's like, if this paper, if you've had this paper this long, I don't think we're in the buyback period anyways. And he like crumples up the paper that you've so carefully kept all these years and tosses it on the floor. And then he goes back and scrambles up there and brings out the sort of like not very well kept, long, very unique looking curved sword.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Now that I have the sword back, I'm not gonna need this shield. Want to just buy it from me?
He looks. It's like rusted on the edge where the ooze got you.
Yeah.
Looks at it. You watch as he will take it off your hands if you're willing to. He'll take it off your hands at half price, and he begins getting out like this new sort of like paper, like it's a little notepad with like carbon copy and everything, and he sets it up and he starts making you a receipt for your rusted shield.
I don't need a receipt. I'm not gonna need it.
Well, just for for bookkeeping purposes, we have to make sure this is on the up and up. This is not a store. This is a pawn shop. There are rules.
I literally came to you. Somebody in the alley told me that you deal in illicit goods, and you arranged to meet me in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m.
Come on, dude. Are you with the cops?
I mean, no. Why would I be the cops?
Tears the paper, tears it up, throws it on the floor, hands you your sword. I don't know how much. You know how much the sword is worth, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you got for it, you can, get it back for, I guess. And then he'll give you half value for your shield, your pawn shield.
Yep.
So speaking of illicit goods, what are you looking for today? You some firearms? Need some illicit materials?
No, but I might have somebody who can look into something like that. But damn, I should have brought that whip too. I left it back in the room, sitting on the counter. Maybe I'll be back later tonight.
Well, you know where I am. He hands you a new business card, Miko's like pawn shop emporium. 90 days guaranteed.
3 years. Appreciate it.
Well, you got lucky this time, old timer. Nobody wanted that.
Nobody knows how to use that damn thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who wants a sword when you can have a? Well, we better not say it out loud.
Hangman.
Right. And then you're free to get Daddle off.
Head back in the shadows, back towards the bullet and barrel and bullet.
So we're still in the sort of first day, and Anita has finished Wyber and is like now catching up on her Z's. I guess that leaves a bit of time for Refugul and Saruk to do any stuff. I guess Refugul, we already know what Refugul's doing. Refugul's back at the thing, just training in the back with this mysterious new entity. But Saruk, what is Saruk doing during this first time? I mean, Wybert is functional, but he's still like missing a lot of his casing and he's like has exposed wires. He still needs work to make himself presentable. He's just functional. He's awake.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, with the rest of the day left over, I think it's just sit, process, maybe like... I can't imagine there's anywhere in Alkenstar that's a safe place to go for a walk and sort out things. So failing that, it's likely just be outside, like sitting somewhere out back of the saloon, because the room's not that big.
Right.
Flipping through some things, just kind of like staring up into the sun and thinking about the situation that he's in. He's nebulously around if anyone wants to get a hold of him, but there's been so much in the past, not even 24 fucking hours, but processing seems important.
Okay. And as you're kind of doing this and clearing your head, honestly, if you're looking for like a quote unquote safe, nice place to go, you could always take a meander over to Skyside, cross the bridge over into the Strati and walk in the rich part of town.
Fair. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. There's actually, I don't know how much time you spent over, but like as you cross the bridge, as you cross the river, it is basically like walking into a different city. The just the demeanor of the people, the clothes they wear, everything is like much more well kept. The money is spent on this side having the buildings clean, so that like grime that still accrues is sort of washed at a more regular interval. Much more like motor vehicles on this side. The clockwork sort of vehicles are very heavily congested on this side, so it makes it a little hard to like cross the street without having someone almost run you over. Luckily, they don't go too fast. What? Sure. Sorry, my kids had to interrupt me there.
The kids put the dice in the
At
microwave.
least
I'm
he
concerned when the sign.
Oh, he didn't put the dice in the microwave, and he didn't push his brother over. Actually, maybe they did put the dice in the microwave. I didn't check.
I put my brother in the microwave for science.
But it is a nice way to like clear your head over here to like Auburn Hill, and as you do, there is actually something that's a pretty cool sight to behold is like an airship field, kind of nestled on the side, and you kind of can sit there and watch the airships come and go. You know, there's no magical travel in and out of Alkenstar, so you either hoof it through the desert or like the way that you sort of probably came here. I don't know how you came here, but these airships are the most common gateway to Alkenstar. But it's a nice way to sort of clear your mind. And as you're sort of sitting in the park, you catch again the glimmer of a like long, and you see it more clearly now, but it is very clearly a cat's tail, like coming out of like a bush, a large cat, and the tail sort of like sways as the bush shifts, and you kind of like look surprised. No one around you in the park, the people with their kids or anything, react to this. It's just you seeing the cat.
Okay. I am clearly seeing things. If nobody else in the in the scene is reacting to this, is there something I might be able to recall knowledge about what the heck is going on?
Sure. Why don't you give me a recall knowledge, religion, or if you have a specific lore. I think you know the lore skill you're looking to use.
Oh, I do, because at level 2 I took my favorite. I don't remember the name of the feat, but it lets me to... During my daily preparations, I choose one skill, and I become trained in the skill. For the rest of Saruk's life, it will be lore, the plot. Whatever the fuck we're getting up to, I'm going to have the lore check.
That's investigators, right?
I fucking love investigators. I'll make it secret. The macro will always read lore, the plot.
Right.
God. In this case, I don't know what to have set it to. Oh, something along the lines of
random cat lore.
I was gonna say corrupt government official lore.
Oh, there you go.
It seems like a stretch. I'm just gonna hit the dice. A thing happened. I don't know what it was.
Let's see what you get. So, based on your knowledge of big cat lore, this is very clearly the tail of a jaguar.
Those don't live out here.
Do not native to this region whatsoever. But, you know, has a special place in your society where you come from, at least.
And my literal faith.
Yes.
So, with that in mind, I think it's an immediate get up and with purpose go to the farm where the Majaguan priest lives that I've been praying and or staying with.
Right. I think as you kind of get up to go towards there, which is good, you see the jaguar itself is no longer hiding from you. Like, it is in that bush that you saw it in, and it's curled up, and it looks like it's sleeping. If you'd like to just get up and go to the thing, you can.
Try to approach it.
Okay. How do you approach a sleeping jaguar in a park? With, like, children playing 10 feet from it.
So many things on tonight's stream that people should not do. I don't pet the jaguar. I don't care what the TikTok did. Don't do it. I I think what we have to do is, if I think this is a supernatural manifestation and not a real thing because no one else is reacting to it, but it's very obvious and overt, Saruk is going to just like with purpose walk forward and then like take a knee when he gets close enough, and then like hold out his arm so the animal can get his scent and stuff.
Yeah, so you do that, and like as you approach, the one like sleeping eye goes up, and you can just feel the eye of this thing like staring through like to your soul. Like it is a deep stare that hits you not on just a physical level, but on like a spiritual level. And as you sort of like take that knee, the jaguar sort of like sits up a little bit and leans its head and like kind of puts it close to you.
I don't think you're what you want me to think. Those words don't make sense. You're not an actual jaguar, are you? I try to scratch behind its ear.
Yeah, and the minute you like touch and scratch behind the ear as you're saying that, you have this sensation of like falling. Like it feels like the ground gives out from underneath you and opens up, and you tumble, and you find yourself in a weird floating sensation, and it's almost like the whole world in that one breath for miles is like connected with you. The nature, the city, the society, you and everything around you, it just overwhelms your senses in like one pulse out from you. And you get a sense that your focus is being directed through the chaos and through the noise towards this farm that you were already thinking of going to. And you know that generally there is a priestess that lives on the outside of town. Unfortunately, you hadn't had time to narrow it down. This sort of jaguar creature has like pulled away the noise and drawn your senses in, and you see about like a mile or so outside the city walls, there is a small farm with a house that looks fairly run down, with a sort of barren fields with like overgrown wheat kind of reclaiming like clockwork machinery. And you are shown this like vision, and you just hear the "Find me here." And then you come back and you're like petting nothing in like the bush in this park. And like you can see like some of the people here are starting to whisper and say weird things. You don't know how long maybe that took, but everyone is staring at you.
I don't know how long I've been tripping in the park.
Yes.
Zerg just stands up and starts walking.
Okay. Yeah, and you... It was like a surreal feeling. I think maybe one of the most like spiritual moments you've had, at least here in Alkenstar for sure, because you've been very disconnected from your sort of a lot of your faith. But yeah, you're able to make your way through the capital district all the way to the far side of Alkenstar. And you know, you're heading out, and it's kind of approaching a few, you know, you got a late start in the afternoon. You only have a few hours of sunlight left. They do warn you that it's not safe to be outside the walls. They try to like make sure, like, are you sure you want to go out there?
You sure you want to do this?
that's the guards doing that, not the GM doing that too. Like, I won't.
Yeah, Zerg just walks on.
Yeah, you just kind of go on, and so you sort of walk. God, this happy-go-lucky tavern music doesn't feel appropriate anymore. But I don't know. I'm just gonna hit a random Ivan playlist.
Jump cut to like underwater combat.
Not a combat playlist, at least. I tried to keep it.
Magic.
Yeah. So you basically kind of like leave the safety of the city walls. I can say safety in air quotes because you don't necessarily feel safe there, but you wander for about a mile out the quote unquote safety of the Alkenstar city walls. And as you do, this sort of familiar wind whips up and begins blowing strongly through the area. The walls of Alkenstar protect from this kind of heavy winds, but out here below, like at ground level, you feel it. And you look up, the smog is actually cleared out, and you can see the sky, and you see beautiful colors swirling in the sky above you, high above you. And the further outside the walls you get, you start to realize just how quiet it is outside. The click clack of the city, which your brain has just been tuning out for a while, returns you to a sense of quiet that you haven't experienced in a while, and it bothers you that it feels a little uncomfortable. But you walk through these farmlands, they sit around you, and you see now all these farms being tilled. There's clockwork machines tilling the fields, watering the crops, planting the seeds, and very few farmers sort of sitting and supervising. You see a few maybe fixing a machine here or there, or bundling up the crops to be taken in to the city for selling. But compared to home, you're amazed at just how much one person can do and handle alone, thanks to the technology here in Alkenstar, which is good because there's not a lot of farmland and a lot of people out here. But on the horizon, after walking for a better part of half an hour, you see that same vision, that same house you were shown, an unassuming farmhouse with the fields surrounding it. And as you come in close to it, you realize around this particular farmhouse, most of the fields are barren. Old dried crops of wheat stick up from the ground, and a rusted clockwork tractor sits in the middle of the overgrown wheat field, the same house you saw in the vision. Of the entire 3 fields here on this farm, only one, the smallest, shows any sign of life. The small harvest of wheat grows there with a clockwork machine diligently wandering around, not much bigger than Wybert, a bowl of water with holes on his head as he sprinkles out and just waters the fields of wheat. And you see yourself standing here in this sort of different world than you were in not that long ago. What is Farouk doing?
So as not breaking stride, walk up to the front door and knock.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. You just walk straight up towards the front door, and as you approach, you see the house. It shows a lot of the same signs of disrepair that the fields around it have. But the front door is made of a thick, reinforced, heavy metal door, the likes of which you don't see very often back in Alkenstar or at home. And the house itself looks surprisingly sturdy, as if built to survive some of these dangerous storms that happen out here. And as you knock, your eyes drift to the side as you wait for an answer, and you see something that strikes you, surprises you, and that is a wooden carving mounted to the side of the door in the shape of a jaguar. And its paint job, which is faded, includes the emerald greens and gold that you might expect refined. Now, there's not a lot of iconography back home, but if someone was to have something, this might be similar what you see. It's like a blending of what you see here in Alkenstar and what you normally experience at home. And painted in barely legible, faded gold paint is one word, an Orcish word, Votar. Is the Orcish word for home. And there's a knock, knock, knock. You're banging on the door, and it seems like quite a wait before you hear the latching of 8 locks on the inside, bolt, slide bar, all the security. And as the door opens, you have the sun kind of setting behind you, streaming in. You see an old, frail-looking Orcish woman, clearly in her late 70s, who is squinting with you and the sun, and she says, "Arky, is that you?"
No, I'm sorry.
She's already run out to hug you.
Saruk awkwardly returns the hug. No, I believe I was. I tap the jaguar sculpture. I believe I was summoned here.
Summoned? Did I? Let me find my pocketbook. Hang on. How much do I owe you?
Not a thing.
She's very... Oh. I'm sorry, my name is Okri. And she, reaches out. I get a little confused sometimes, I'm sorry. You have to level with me. What is going on here?
First things first, my name is Saruk. Never have I ever received what I can only interpret as some sort of, dare I say, divine vision. I don't know. I was directed here. I was supposed to find someone. I presume that someone is you.
Well, I mean, perhaps. Just come in. And she invites you in, and locks the door, all 8 deadbolts behind you. And you realize she lives here. The house is empty. She's alone here. There is a small sort of you can call it a shrine, but a sort of area in this living room that is dedicated to Majagua, but it looks kind of neglected. And she immediately just says, let me get you something, dear, to refreshment of some sort. We can sort this out.
Water is fine, thank you.
Water. She goes...
I'm sorry, do you mind if I clean the shrine?
Yeah,
It looks like it's seen better days.
You feel free. I mean, that was sort of my son's thing. And she goes off into the kitchen. You can hear her talking back as she starts getting she doesn't have running water, so she's got buckets that she's doing the pump to get water from under her house for you. And yeah, you see the shrine, and it's not bad, it's not falling apart, but it's literally got a nice layer of dust that has settled on it over the last, by your estimation, probably years.
In which case, Saruk will just pull a cloth from somewhere on his person and begin getting the dust off of it.
Sure. She comes out and she sees you cleaning it, and she hands you a little wooden glass of water, and she says, yes, that was... Sorry, it's been some time since I've talked about it. My son, Arky. You look like him,
I'll take the compliment. I hesitate to ask what happened, but I think I can put 2 and 2 together. I haven't been in Alkenstar long. I've seen enough to know. Something bad?
Is that the way of the world?
No, but it's the way of here. I may be very, very late, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry.
She smiles and she nods herself. She says, he died the way he wanted to, protecting others. That is what he preached. That's what he stood for.
I hate to call anything a good death, but as far as deaths go, it's better than most.
Now, you say something called you here. Something summoned you was the word.
Indeed. I think the shortest version, if this was your son's, we share a faith.
I think I still share your faith, even if it's a little shaken.
Fair. I'm sorry. I made a presumption.
It's okay. Let me guess. Seeing jaguars?
Yeah, exactly.
Arky used to see them too when he was little. Strange for someone your age to see them for the first time.
Circumstances are what circumstances are. I don't know. I've had not a lot of time to think about. I'll spare you the gory details, but I'm here on business. Insert air quotes, business. And that business has expounded itself in ways that aren't great, and ways that are hard to swallow.
That's what he loved the most about this place, you know?
Go on.
He liked the challenge. I suppose I doomed him to the life. It was I who brought us here.
No? Where are you from?
Atakali.
Oh, no shit. Me too.
I can tell
What
from
brought you?
the accent. I've
What
lost
brought you all the way
lost
here?
mine over the years.
Indeed.
Change? I didn't like that if I raised a son at home, he was going to be raised as a warrior. If I came out here on a farm, you know what? Still died a warrior.
Funny how that works.
Can't escape fate, can you?
I prefer to frame it as not a matter of escaping, but a matter of making sure you put your feet where you want to go on the way. The conclusion may not be what you want, but you can, I guess, make sure the pieces fall where you want to along the way in the story.
Nice way of looking at it.
It's the coping mechanism that I'm keeping while I'm here.
I know it well. My son, he was not raised in our society, but something out here found him anyways. And I think it called to him. He came of age. I think maybe it's calling to you.
Maybe. Certainly I will take all the help I can get. Sort of takes a very long drink of the water.
Come with me. She kind of gets up and starts shuffling her feet like through her fairly small house. And she leads you to like this door, and it's her son's bedroom door. I've tried to honor him. I've kept it as clean as I could. I'm not. And she just pushes the door open. Words fail her. And you can see in this room, it's definitely like a bedroom that's decorated in like a warrior sort of thing with like weapons and posters and drawings and very minimal furniture, but we're standing in the middle of the room in a sort of like mannequin body is a very magnificent suit of plate mail armor. And you can see this entire armor is made from this like emerald green paint job, smooth sort of rounded edges from head to toe as like a base layer, but and there's very little signs of damage on there, but where the chest and the shoulders are, there's like this golden triangle that kind of comes up and raises over the edge, making very sharp edges. And this golden triangle is made, or at least coated in, a very beautiful gold sort of color. And the most striking sort of dominating feature you see is the helmet, and it's opened and it's made of that same gold, but it looks like an open jaguar mouth roaring where the wearer's face sits within the mouth of the jaguar. And also a pair of golden jaguar feet to match the boots. And
I've never, I mean, I've seen it before, but holy shit. Sort of just moves forward, begins like looking it all up, down, left, right.
Yeah. as you like step forward towards it, you can see the suit mail like kind of shifts to the side, and curled on the bed, the same panther sleeping on the bed behind. And you watch as Okri is kind of watching this. She smiles. She's having flashbacks to like her son, and she just kind of closes the door to give you some privacy. And the jaguar that's like sitting on the bed, purring it as you look over, opens that same one-eyed look and like pops down off the bed and comes over to you and immediately begins like sniffing at you, very intense.
Hello again.
Hello.
Okay, now we're on speaking terms. Do you have a name?
Yes. My name is Kijak. I must apologize for my projection, but I am a spirit emissary bound this, and he like kind of rubs himself on the side of the armor. I've sworn to find someone to take up its mantle, both body and spirit. I have seen many souls here, but you are the first potential, sir.
I see. Well,
Looking.
Saruk moves forward, pulls the helmet off the mannequin.
Yeah. The panther, or sorry, the jaguar, not the panther, watches you as you're sort of like taking it up, and he doesn't stop you, right? Or it doesn't stop you. I'm looking for one who is willing to take up the title of Emerald Jaguar. A very worthy symbol of Kazatul, or Majagua, as you may know her. But be warned, this decision does not come lightly, Saruk. It is a selfless commitment you must make. A pledge to the mother of jaguars. To embody her will here, to protect those who need protecting.
The pledges back home are similar. I think I can stomach it.
In return, you will be given her blessing. A small shard of Kazatul's divine power that you will carry until the day you pass on, where you may join her at the root of the sky. Take your place amongst the rest of her children.
I see.
Now, you do not need to make this decision now. But when you are ready, if you are ready, there are some prerequisites.
I'm listening.
I will need you to take care of Arcus's mother, Okri, that nice woman out there. We owe him that much. Help her to return home, so she may finally lay her family to rest, so she can finally be. Then, turn here. Swear your vows to Kazatul, and the power shall be yours.
I see. So, you realize Matakali is very far from here. I'm more than happy to, but I don't exactly. There's a bit of a time frame,
If only,
which I'm
only there was
currently trapped in.
technology that could help. You need not escort her home. Simply put her on an airship. She has no money. She has no means. She cannot keep up this farm. You take care of her, and that'll be the first step in many together.
That is considerably easier. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm sure I can spring for an airship ticket.
you know, you've got quite a big brain in there, and like the big old like jaguar paw like taps you on your head and like taps the helmet that you're holding.
I do what I can. I thank you.
I'm not sure it's going to fit this helmet. We might have to make some alter.
Saruk tries to put the helmet on.
It like your head is much bigger than the other one, so like it like basically gets stuck. You could force it down if you really wanted to. It's not so tight you can't wear it, but like it definitely. You're generally the same size, but you need some slight alterations to make it truly your own, I think. Looks good on you.
If you're into helmets that sit around the temple, fucking pulls it off.
Yeah, you struggle with it a second, you yank it off, and when you look, the panther is gone. Ejok is not here anymore.
So Saruk will begin the process, I suppose, of like getting the armor off the mannequin and getting it like packed up for travel.
Mm-hmm.
After that's done, then circling back out the door. Ma'am, if I were to give you 30 gold right now, say that could buy you certainly I don't know what the first class tickets out here go for, but a better than coach ride from here to Matakali, and with spending money left over for you to start a new life somewhere.
Are you asking if
Would that interest you?
If I'd go?
Yeah.
She starts tearing up a little bit. You see like the tears in her eyes. Why? Why would you do this for me?
To speak frankly, because Alkenstar kind of sucks. But in more broad terms, there are better places back home than here. You don't deserve to live out the rest of your days on a farm that you can barely keep up yourself in a town that is what it is. I find myself with a lot of extra spending money. It is the least I can do.
Again, for the second time tonight, you find her arms like wrapped around you as she kind of embraces you. Of course I'll go. But not quite a bit of packing to do. And she starts kind of like immediately going around her house and grabbing like all the stuff that she considers valuable to start throwing into suitcases to start packing to go home for the first time in some time. So and she will invite you to stay with her and at least she'll invite you to stay for the night at least and help get her packed and ready to go.
Yes, Rick immediately when the old woman starts trying to pack, just like get out from I got it, don't actually wait, hold on. And then pen, paper, writes down names that he definitely knows what are, and an address, passes over. This is where my mother and father live. We've been out of touch since I've come here. I don't know where the rest of my siblings are at the moment. We've spread our wings, shall we say, but if I can ask a favor, if you could go back and let him know that Saruk's fine and will be home as soon as he can, I would really appreciate it.
Sure, you're coming home. Sometimes we spread our rings and get home too late. And you can see she's holding like two small like ceremonial vials that are holding like the ashes of two people, her son and someone else.
Well, Saruk just solemnly nods and assists in all of the packing of all of the things.
Okay. And there is sort of like that, like kind of we kind of come out of the farm and we can see the farm that is barely struggling along as the sun has like set in the background. And yeah, so we're just taking the first step on a journey that will be to come.
Understand the assignment that was play the game where you were outlaws.
Yeah. Sure. It's a matter of perspective. In some ways, you're outlaws. In some ways, you have a license to do whatever you want, signed by the legal backer of the city.
God.
It's dangerous out there alone. Take this.
Take this through the plate mail. But yes.
You're gonna get shot at a lot. Take this.
Yeah. So I think that probably wraps up, like, at least that scene for now. Is there anything else? I think maybe we come back and we see like a super sweaty Ruffy like dueling against this cat, and we see like Ruffy is like got like scratch marks in his clothes, and like she's gotten the better of you like quite a bit.
Spit out some blood. Well,
not bad, kid. What'd you say your name was?
I didn't. Refugule. What's yours?
She holds out like her paw. If I get the name right. Oh, here we go. Put in the other one. She holds out her like sort of like she takes off like the brass knuckles that's like on one of her paws, and she holds out her like left hand and says, "Airshap. Airshap will do." And then
I click my jaw back into place real quick.
Like,
nice to meet you, Airshap.
Your hat's loose.
Oh. That's what happens when you get your head knocked around for a few hours.
She like puts her arm around you and like picks up her like belt strap and says, "Come on in, drinks are on me."
Right. Sun's going down. I could use a coffee. Grab my gun and put it back on my belt. Or put my belt back on around my waist.
Yeah, and as you guys get the drinks on her and like kind of sit into like one of these tables, and then the whole like sort of tavern is definitely filling up at this point. You know, she basically, "So, kid, where'd you learn to fight like that anyway?"
Man who used to work for my father taught me a bit of it a long time ago. Said that you really get to know not only your opponent but yourself through the connection of fist to fist. But
Deep. It doesn't mean anything, but it's deep.
Funny enough, that's what my father said as well. But he disappeared before he could finish teaching me.
Your father?
For lack of a better term.
I had to learn survival instincts, you know? I don't have any formal training. I kind of developed the style all my own. Put it to good use. Bouncing for this place. And she like just kind of nods generally at the whole bar. Yeah, I kind of keep my skills sharp here.
Can imagine. Well, they're pretty sharp, I have to say.
See her like she's pulling bits of like skin out from under her cloth.
If you're gonna be around a bit, if you don't mind beating me up a few more every now and then.
Are you interested in fisticuffs? I mean, he kind of looks at the gun on your side. I would think most people that carry those are not interested in getting up close and personal.
I used to believe everything my father told me. Believe that, well, he believed in me. Found out that wasn't the case. The maybe I need to find out things online.
I found being on my own is usually the best. Less likely to get hurt that way.
Well, those claws, I imagine you do more of the hurting.
Not all hurting this kid. And she kind of gets up to kind of go over and get you guys like another round of drinks and leave you kind of sitting there. Just a moment.
Coffee for me.
Right, coffee, because that makes sense. And you can see she smiles. And yeah. Yeah, but then she comes back with the drinks, sets them down, says, "You got spirit. If you've got dedication towards the martial arts, I will be your master."
Don't have to bow or anything, do I?
Bow before your senses. And then she laughs. She laughs. And then she like shakes you just hand on the shoulder or paw. And despite the fact that she is frail as shit, she's got some muscle packing underneath that cat body. You can feel that she's got strength. You felt it outside, but even here, just she's being accidentally too rough on you.
I just want to make sure everyone else is actually seeing this cat person, right?
Anita's sleeping.
I don't know, I'm asleep.
Maybe
I'm not the only one that can see this cat person here, right?
I mean, I'm sure Hal,
I
like,
just got it.
walked in.
Everyone's seeing cat people
What's
tonight.
going on?
She does not look like a
Hal
jaguar.
walks into, like,
Alright.
Reffy holding on to, like, this cat lady's shoulder.
Yeah, nothing.
Just bowing before nothing. Too much coffee.
With, like, new swords and stuff.
But yeah, you're able to, mechanically take your martial arts dedication. Congratulations on that.
Alright.
I mean, Hal, is there anything else you would like to accomplish? Or Nina, if you'd like to wake up and meander downstairs, anything in the last few minutes on this, first night that you guys could be trying to do? You still got about some downtime on the first day. You got a late start.
I think Hal would rush into the Bullet and Barrel. It's later in the evening. Not sure if he thinks that Anita's still in the workshop, and he's gonna bust in there and say, "I need some oil. Anybody, you got any oil? Something to sand something? I need some oil." And he's
You kick in the
carrying
door, right? Looking for Anita. Anita's not there, but you do see a small frazzled goblin. And the goblin is like looking around, and he's just like muttering to himself, like, "Touch my goddamn tools." And like he's going around the workshop, and like everything's in the wrong place, and he is like trying to put everything back exactly where it goes. And you kick in the door, and you're like, "I need some oil." He spins around, he's like points a finger, it's like, "You the one in my workshop?" And he kind of like walks right up to you and looks up at you, all angry.
No, I need some oil. You got some oil?
I apologize for letting anger get the better of.
I like this goblin.
I've been doing my breathing exercises, but it just makes me so goddamn mad when some people touch my stuff without permission.
Hal will reach over and say, "If you rub right here on your ear, and you say, I forget what the word is,
Musa.
God.
it'll relieve some energy." And shit, I got some oil on my fingers now. I need some more of that.
He like closes
And,
his eyes and he does it.
Like a old rag or something. I can use my blanket.
Yeah, come over here. And he definitely like leads you over, and he's got a whole like workshop. He's like, "You need oil, you need you specific, like, what are we doing? What are we talking about?"
I need oil, maybe some sandpaper. I'm sure you got sandpaper out here in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
A whetstone maybe, and Hal will go to work on his rusted, old, dirty sword, and he'll spit polish it to a nice, dull sheen, because he doesn't polish it in hopes that we will not create a reflection in the night.
Yeah, there's definitely gear here for you to like sharpen and dull and like coat this thing. So the goblin kind of directs you around and gets you all the stuff you want so you can sit down and do it. And he's like, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Can you just maybe, do you know who touched my stuff? I'm not going to make a scene. I promise I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I just want to know who had the audacity to touch my workshop.
I mean, the last person I saw come in here was Phoebe. I mean,
enjoy. And he like storms out the door to go like give you like enough.
All right.
I think you hear like Reficule, you hear like the goblin in the bar and stuff, and it's just everyone can hear like you know, he's just like, Phoebe, it's my workshop. No one's allowed to touch my tools. And Phoebe's just like, Kid, I rent you that workshop. It's not your stuff. You're renting the space. I don't have time for this shit. And like, this like angry goblin just cannot like stand it. Orders himself like a whiskey, and you watch as he like orders the whiskey. He goes into like his like little undercoat. He's got a huge selection of like vials, and he picks one out and he takes a few drops and he drops it into like the whiskey, and it like flames up, and he puts the vial away, and you just hear him like muttering under his breath as he throws back one of these like flaming whiskeys in one big gulp. I guess I could theoretically roll for him at that table. Let's see. He sets his clothing on fire. He takes the drink and he like slams the glass down. That's better. And you just see his arms on fire, and he like looks and like he's got like a flame resistant like set of gear on because it happens all the time to him. So he's just like, and he starts stamping it out like nothing.
Refi's going to get up quickly. Excuse me 1 second, Airshot. Go over and start helping pad out the goblin.
Thanks. Don't worry. I designed this outfit specifically for this purpose. Yes.
Couldn't help but overhearing that you talking to Miss Phoebe over there. You're wondering about who was in the workshop.
Was it you?
No, I don't know anything about tools. But I did see a big green orcish fellow coming out of there.
Like
big tusks, you know, metal on him.
Tell you what, he gets all loud and starts announcing. Whoever brings me this tusk, so I can have a word with them about touching my tools, I'll give you a gold piece. You see tusks, you send them my way.
Sure, you'll see him around, and I give him another pat on the arm and go back towards the tire shop.
What time is it?
Night-ish. We're
like
vague.
late into the night?
Enough. I think it's around time you're free to wake up if you want. Yeah, it's late.
Wybert comes down first. And then followed by me.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like Wybert kind of comes into the room, and like he still has like bits of exposed wiring and stuff. Like you didn't have time to fully complete him, you just got him functional. So he looks like he's in a state of disrepair. And I think as Wybert comes into the room, this goblin Nicol has not yet like noticed you guys. So you kind of come down. He's focused here. He's like looking around, like muttering something about Tuss. And I think in that moment he kind of looks up and sees this half-built robot.
Naively, just Anita goes to Phoebe and goes, "Is your workshop open?" Why am I Irish?
It spreads. It's infectious.
Is it open? Could I use it?
Phoebe's like, it's yours. Do what you need to do. We got work.
All right, thanks. Oh, hi, Ruffy. Hi.
This goblin is just like the minute you said like, you know, like is it the workshop available? You just see in the chair he's like slowly turning around. He's just like You just see this goblin staring daggers at you, Anita.
Hello. Oh wait, I think. And then Anita remembers that they have to plan for picking Bastion up. Should we? And then she just starts mouthing stuff because Phoebe did tell them to, you know, like not talk too much about it, like outside. Where's Saruk?
Haven't seen him.
Oh, Ruffy. And then I step closer to Ruffy. I put a hand on his like arm and say, I just remembered that I did punch you yesterday. I'd just like to say sorry.
I know. You
Again.
hear my jaw? You can hear my jaw clicking, can't you? When I like, my jaw's still clicking from getting beat up by the cat.
Yeah,
I
and
was like, look what you did to me, Annie.
I know, it's all the push-ups and the pull-ups that I've been doing. Right, Hal? Oh, that's a nice sword.
There's a tap on your shoulder, or actually, there's a tap on the back of your lower back, Anita.
Hello?
Excuse me. Hi, Nico. Are you the bum who got into my workshop and stole bits of my machinery and did this? And he like gestures wildly at Wyvern.
What do you mean, this? You trying to
This.
slag me off here?
I mean, shoddy work, isn't it? He's like, you can see him like poking his head in through the exposed, like sort of
Riffy
thing.
steps back.
What do you do? You show me something that's better than Wybert.
I mean, look, why would you have like this? Is just gonna come loose, one solid whack, and this is gonna come.
Don't
Yeah, no.
fucking touch him. Just throw him back to life.
That's my wire right there. That's my wire. And he like reaches in. Like,
Do you want me to pay for it then?
no, I mean a little courtesy would be nice. You come into my workshop, you
Well,
can
I
at
mean-
least say,
I was told that I could. You weren't there.
yeah, but there's a difference between could and should, right? I could smack
Do
you in the
own
face,
it,
but should
though?
I?
Do you
No.
own- I mean, you could try. I'm sure I could, you know, like, I'm sure Wybert's gonna come in there and then just punch you right back.
Wybert, is this Wybert?
Yes, that's Wybert. Wybert? What? Nico?
Let me.
Wybert smash.
Listen, I don't know where you learned to operate a soldering iron, but that is. I'd be embarrassed, frankly, if that was my work. And he like just walks away.
Oi, come back here.
Nah. He just waves his hand like nah.
No, you come back here.
He
I'm
doesn't
just
come
saying.
back, but he does spin around at like a distance and look at you.
I'm gonna quote him. You have the audacity to say that my robot right now has shoddy wire work when you couldn't even prove to me or show to me that you have something of
Urshap has
Right now,
already sort of worked her way between the two of you, trying to de-escalate the situation, right, as a bouncer. And Nico's like, come on then, I'll show you. In my workshop. And
But do you want to play a game? Whoever could like make the best blast boots when practicing.
blast boot. You mean like strapping explosives to the bottom of your feet? Blast boots? Like freshman level Blythe College? Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah, bring it on. And he like...
You want to do it right
Yeah,
now? Like
yeah,
just
I
with the
do.
wiring.
I
All
do.
right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, Ben. What do you want to do? You actually you do it first. What do you want to do since you're so
You just stay here.
Ability.
I'm gonna work on these for 4 days, and then I'll Pathfinder rules, baby.
No, it's like can we do like
Let's do a craft off.
let's
Yeah.
whatever a craftful face.
Let's see.
do it.
Let's see who can
What do
make
you want to
the
do?
best blast boots.
It doesn't even have to be. How about we just make a circuit? Because 4 days, I actually need that 4 days. But right now, in this next 6 seconds,
All right.
maybe there's something that you and I could do.
How about this?
A minute.
Maybe you could have a roll off, and maybe the highest one gets a hero.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind too.
I'll teach you. How about instead of blast boots, we just do some. We'll have a solder off. Whoever can solder the wires correctly that can withstand a proper jostle wins.
All right. I'm a robot.
No.
All right.
I got some bread box setups we can use. So
I'll grab those peanuts. This should be good.
if you want to do like there's this whole set. He makes it really official. He gets like a little like clockwork, like big, like oversized alarm clock that he puts on the desk, and he like gives it a twist so it comes out to be exactly like 5 minutes. And he says,
"First one to impressive.
Finish in 5
minutes."
Oh. That. Well, thank you. Actually, wait, no, I'm angry with you. We're gonna do this.
I'm just paying you a compliment. All right, I'm ready. And then I take out my artisan's tools.
Yeah. And so he's got like the bread box. He's got like a little electrical current set up. And the idea is to solder across this circuitry to make the light up. Whoever does it first. And it has to withstand like a jostle. Otherwise, it doesn't count in his eyes. So we're just going to do this as a straight crafting roll. Anita has enough hero points to like use because it's probably the only roll we made all night, right?
God.
Bank those hero points.
Either this or
carry 'em
gamble.
over. Yeah, let's go ahead and make an active crafting check. Let me just check something real quick.
All right, you ready? Saw it off.
Right? They're just confused. Are they
Bunch
just
of nerds,
gonna
like-
leave? They're just gonna saw it off. I don't understand.
Okay,
Whoever leaves the best, I'm confused.
so Anita, are you ready for this craft off?
Yes.
All right, should I roll first to set the bar and see how fast Nico's going to do it?
All right.
All right. Nico, with his crafting check, rolls a 12 on the dice with a plus 12 for a total of
That's a
24.
plus
He's a pretty good crafter. I had to look up his stats.
Okay.
So, Anita, it's
the same
doable.
dice too.
Oh, do you? It is doable. This is
All
something
right.
that's within the realm of possibility for you. So, Nico is going fast, but can Anita pull it out?
All right. It's either
most
I'm gonna
intense
stumble
roll
or she's
of the
gonna be
stream's
so
history.
egoistic.
Yes.
Egotistic after this one. Happy Pride.
Oh, God.
That's 24.
Well,
Do you want to spend a hero point and risk it?
How many times do we roll?
Just one roll. It's just one roll.
But you have to take the second result. It's
Yeah.
not like advantage where you get to pick.
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you
Oh,
content with tying? I think it's a good story beat to tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're working. You both basically finish, and the light goes on
Finishes.
both. Wybert picks up both and gives it like a shake. They both stay solid. His soldering technique is a bit sturdier than yours, but it slowed him down. But he made up for it by like using some new like wiring sort of like cap techniques that you hadn't seen before, which is a little interesting. And he's impressed that you were able to make your solder so fast. He understands that you prioritize speed over function. And I think you both look at each other, lock eyes, and he goes, well, obviously my light went on first.
No.
I mean, and then the bell goes off. You both finish in the time. It's like, no, my light clearly went off first. I think I won.
I mean, we have people here that witnessed. Refi, how?
Griffin and Hal with peanuts.
Looks about the same to me. Hal, what do you think?
I was polishing the sword.
Hal was polishing the sword, and then these two engineers came in.
Well, as the official judge, unquestionably the official judge of this contest, I'm gonna have to say that Anita was the winner.
That's freshman year Blifford College. skills to.
That's fucking bullshit! Like slams the top, like throws the whole like tool set, soldering iron, hot soldering iron goes flying across the workshop as he like storms off back towards the bar, just muttering like bullshit. Yeah, his breathing exercises are not helping him here. You see him like massaging his ear angrily as he goes back to the bar. And I think that will probably be where we end tonight. Or maybe there's like a moment as he goes off and there's like Ruffy and Nita and Hal like looking at each other there, right?
It was actually a tie, Annie.
Oh no.
You want to hear something even better?
Yeah.
I told him it was Tuss that went to his workshop.
Did you really? Oh boy. Where is he? Where is he anyway?
I don't know. He said something about he was paying for a party tomorrow night or something, and then I haven't seen him.
Oh, he did. Oh, he's probably buying supplies for it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not spent the gold on anything else.
Oh.
I'm sure he's not spent the gold on 30 gold worth of psychedelic mushrooms to go to the bar and just fucking see God.
I also slipped him some LSD into his drinks.
Now it all makes sense.
Ruffy, why would you do that? He seems like, like an honest man.
Just to, broaden his perspective. Just kidding.
I'm sure maybe he could, tolerate Alkenstar a little bit better with some LSD on him.
Tolerate
hope he wasn't
Alkenstar better
alone
if he
when
was
he-
just high.
I just hope he wasn't, alone when he was tripping.
It was actually one of, Hal's old lizard tails.
Right.
Just turned a little. Got some of that mana infusion from the mana wave, right? Well, on that.
Oil for that. Oh.
I didn't actually slip anything into Surge drinks.
Ruffy,
But it was good
We don't
funny.
microwave dice.
Yes.
I microwave Saruk's mace multi-pistol. I'm actually dead.
Don't drink flaming alcohol. I mean, common sense disclaimers, people.
This is rated M for mature.
is that putting a sort of cap and end on the first day, or are we still doing some stuff?
Is Saruk coming back or is he staying the night?
He's gonna be there all night. He'll be back in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're good for the night.
Indeed.
I'll
I think that
go scout when nobody's
Okay.
looking.
Go do that thing that might be a thing that is relevant to your thing.
yeah,
Are
I
you
mean,
gonna do it every night.
yeah, that is an option, right? So yeah, let's do that, right? So
You do have 2 hero points to use anyway. I mean, why not?
let's use them. So Hal sneaks away, and you've seen the map, you've seen the layout. I think this is sort of putting some of your skills. I mean, you have a decent amount of survival skills and scouting, but mostly pertains to non-urban environments. But here, this is you sort of applying yourself in a new environment and seeing how well Hal can do here. So mechanically speaking, the scouting check can actually be done in a multitude of ways. It's not just a single type of check. You can basically justify any skill that you feel is let me just see. Any skill that you want. The ones that gives the most, the lowest DCs for these 4 skills, I will just tell you. Athletics, perception, society, and survival would be the 4 key skills to sort of scouting this, between looking for routes, athletics, climbing up on top of buildings and just getting a better vantage point, society, just talking to people, or survival, just putting your keen instincts into play here.
Hal would definitely go from shadow to shadow, from alley to alley, until he feels he can get a good place, and he'll climb up onto the nearest building and pull himself up with his old man strength.
Is that going to be an athletics check for you on this one?
Yes.
Okay. I'll put the roll in there. You can go ahead and click this thing. This is kind of helping plan the best route for you guys to avoid the most danger. 15 is a success. I mean, you could roll it. You could use a hero point if you want.
I'm going to
Try
use one.
You got it. You got hero points.
Yeah.
Let's use it.
It's better if it's a low number anyways. Oh, there we go. 18.
Okay. Still a success, not a critical success. So, in this sort of time, you spend, the second half of this day scouting this route and like getting perspective. You've earned 1 preparation point for Hal. You can mark that in like, I guess there's no where to mark it specifically, but maybe there's like a note section on the character sheet. You can mark it down. Just know that you as Hal have 1 preparation point, and the group has a pool of 1 preparation point as well.
All right.
I mean, I think technically speaking, Anita is probably spending the rest of the day finishing off Wybert, just putting the final touches on him. And for Reficule, I don't think you've done I don't know if you want to do a mechanical scout as well, or do you not care? Are you just like, nah, screw this job?
I think this is the first night still.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I got it.
he's a little beat up from sparring for a few hours. So.
Okay. Perfect. So I think that kind of puts a cap on the first night, as far as mechanical things, and we're making some progress into a lot of stuff. So that is cool. And we had almost the entire episode without any active roles. It was just a lot of role play with you guys.
I'm so glad I have 3 hero points this session.
Yeah, well, you know what? Persist them into the next session. I will allow you to, because we didn't really get a chance to use them. Courtesy of the Rollsmith. Yeah.
Thank you, Rollsmith.
So that is going to do it for us this week in Alkenstar. Big thanks to Ninna, Ricardo, Richard, and Tommy for playing with me. It's been a pleasure, as always, and I love being able to take like a whole episode and just see you guys sort of mechanically justify a lot of your dedications, because we're doing free archetype, and the only one we didn't really get hints of is Anita, but she's busy. We'll get to it. Yeah. But I want to give a big shout out at this time to the biggest supporters we have out there. That is our patron supporters. Huge shout out to anyone who supports us on Patreon. That includes David Sims, Derek Brewer, Sando Wagner, and possibly you. You can head on over to patreon.com/recallknowledge, get behind the scenes looks of these episodes, see them before they hit YouTube, and your support goes a long way into making it happen. And as well, if you enjoyed that GM prep series that I was doing, I put a stretch goal out there, right? If we hit $100 of patrons, I will go back and finish the Abomination Vault GM prep. I finished book 1. I still got book 2 and 3 to do. I'll do it if you guys want it, but it's up to you guys. Make it happen.
You guys can do it. I believe
in you guys too.
It's in your hands.
Big shout out to Lynx joining us in chat. I haven't seen Lynx in chat in a while, and I don't know if Lynx cursed us or what, because every time Lynx is in chat, audio fails at the beginning and they correct us. It just happens.
You know what? It's providence.
It happens like every week.
I feel like we've been on a good streak.
We are a well-oiled machine, people.
No, I feel like we were on a good streak.
Tradition. Lynx,
but it was
CJ,
tradition.
CJ's here.
Yeah, and CJ as well. Thanks, CJ. Thanks everyone in chat. Big thanks to the Rollsmith for providing the dice you saw tonight. Big thanks to Molten Hosting for providing our server hosting. There's a lot. Any other shout outs? I mean, happy Pride. Go see Ninna at Pride Festival in LA.
Yes.
If you look down and see a bucket hat, that's me.
It's either Ninna or Nickel the Goblin. We're not sure. Yeah. One of the two. Any other shout outs you guys want to give?
Yeah,
please continue masking.
Yeah, God, fucking please, jeez.
I'm tired of wearing PPEs, y'all. Stop it.
Girl, I live
it's too hot outside.
Middle of nowhere. I'm like the only person when I go into the Walmart. Like, I've got my mask. Is everyone looking at me funny? Of course you are.
Yeah,
and this is why we can't have nice things.
Right. We will.
I'm sick and tired.
We will be off next Wednesday, the 15th, thanks to graduation. We'll be back on June 22nd for episode 7. You want to say your shout out, Richard?
Character building.
I was gonna say, like Ninna was saying, we all want to be healthy. We also, make sure to be kind to each other, respect everyone. There's a lot of things going on, and especially kind of the tabletop world right now. So just be kind and respect each other.
There's always.
There's always something, but
That's what
There's
the
a new tea every day.
yeah.
If the tabletop role playing community was a TV show, it would be like the Real Housewives of tabletop.
Really?
The Real Housewives of Tabletop, yeah.
Yeah, the Real Housewives
Tell me
of
the tea
tabletop.
after we're off there.
Forgotten Coast Housewives.
Yeah, there we go. Housewives of Alkenstar. So we'll be back in 2 weeks to continue playing Punks in a Powder Keg. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.
Spin-off
What's
series.
the tea?
Housewives
Don't
of
put
Alkenstar.
LSD in the microwave.